Though the Motor Vehicles Amendment Act of 2019 seemed to be promising in order to obtain road safety, however, it just does not receive backlash from the states, but it also received severe criticism from the general public at large. So, why or what were the issues due to which such an outrage was received by the 2019 amendment? So, the first point is the Motor Accident Fund. So, with an already existing fund for hit and run cases, another fund was created by this act in order to compensate the victims of road accident. So, this new motor accident fund has been created for the same purpose for which already previous accident funds were already in existence. So, what is the object of another fund to be implemented? You could have made certain improvements to the previous fund. By just creating another fund, it has added to the complications further. So what the amendment states that the Act requires the central government of India to constitute a motor vehicle accident fund, which will be used to provide a uniform compulsory insurance cover to all road users in India. So why did the central government find a need to establish a motor accident fund? According to the central government, road accidents was a common occurrence in our country. However, it not only caused loss of property, but it also caused loss of limb and in certain situations also loss of life. However, while compensation will not compensate for the loss created or cannot act as a substitute for the life lost, however, it can make the transition of the grieving family easier. So even though the bread earner of the family has lost his life, but the family can still sustain or survive by acquiring compensation from the motor accident fund. So this fund was created by the central government and it was to be topped up by the central government from time to time. These top-ups will be made as have been prescribed by the central governments in its rules. So what will the motor vehicle accident fund will be used for? So what are its uses? The first use is that it will provide treatment to any person injured in a road accident during the golden hour. So as we've already discussed in the previous lectures, the golden hour is 1 hour from the time of accident. This is the most crucial period to save life of a person met with an accident. The second is to compensate the dependents and other representatives of the person who has died in the hit and run case. So if a person has died, he can be a sole bread earner of the family. And there are numerous other people dependent on him, such as his children, his wife, his old age parents. So this fund will not only compensate for his loss, but will also save the lives of these surviving members in the future. The next is to provide compensation to any person grievously hurt by hit and run case. So when a person is grievously hurt, he might have to take off from work for a few months, or he may not be capable of earning as he was capable before he met with an accident. So the government has made this fund in order to compensate such victims as well. All these grants and loans for the funds were to be made by the central government. But the drawback of the motor accident fund is that there was already a fund in existence, which was the Solatium Fund formulated under the Motor Vehicles Act of 1988. This fund was made for the same purpose, that is to compensate victims for hit and run cases. Where the person has died, similar compensation was granted, and where a person was grievously hurt, he was also compensated under the Act. The Solatium Fund scheme was made because in hit and run cases, it is not possible to trace the person who has hit the victim. So in certain situations and in such cases, the Solatium Fund compensated these victims to meet their expenses without finding the original owner or the original person who has caused such accident. So if there is already a fund which looks after all these aspects, why was a new fund created under the Motor Vehicles Act of 2019 is still unclear, and hence it received backlash from the government as well as the people. The second issue with the 2019 Amendment Act is its implementation all over India, or as we can say, its uniform implementation all over India. The Act seems good in text and spirit, but when it comes to implementation, it has failed tremendously. Furthermore, whereas different states have been given liberty to impose fines depending upon the situation in every state, and further more liberty is given to the states, it has backfired, whereas the states have completely or in some aspects refused to implement the 2019 Amendment Act. Furthermore, the Central Act, instead of creating a uniform and persistent penal statute to punish the traffic violation, it has rather created discrepancy all over India. The third issue with the 2019 Amendment Act is that it requires huge investments for its implementation and incorporation in real life. For example, the Central Act states that modern technology is to be used to catch these traffic offenders so that they don't go unpunished where traffic police cannot be present. So this can be done by the installation of CCTV cameras. But installing CCTV cameras is a huge investment. The Act or the central government has not provided any direction as to how such investments are to be gathered, how these are to be distributed among various states, and how these are to be implemented and for what purposes. So the Act is completely ambiguous about how these investments are to be brought into actual implementation. Furthermore, the traffic officials have well succeeded in metropolitan cities like Bombay, Pune, etc., wherein they have set up CCTV cameras for the general surveillance of the public. However, the state government has failed to maintain these CCTV cameras and other equipments used for traffic offenders and violation to be caught. So already a huge investment has been made to incorporate these CCTV cameras, and now there is no investment or there is no money with the state government to maintain these CCTV cameras. So what is the whole point of incorporating modern technology when no appropriate mechanism has been made to maintain and make investments to keep these CCTV cameras useful to the public as well as the police officials? The next issue with the 2019 amendment is that the states are complaining that the central government is trying to curtail their autonomy over road transportation. So transportation is a matter that has been provided in the concurrent list, wherein the central government as well as the state government has power to legislate on it. However, by the Central Motor Vehicles Act, the central government is trying to curb all the powers of the state government. So as the central government is trying to limit the powers of the state government with respect to transportation, the state governments are revolting against this act and in return are not implementing the provisions or not implementing the entire act in itself within such states. The central government has lashed these state governments to incorporate the Central Motor Vehicles Act in order to obtain a uniform statute all over India, however, all in vain. The next problem the next issue with this act is with respect to relief. It has been noted that this amendment provides for relief to victims. However, it is unclear as to which offense should lead to which penalty. This may make the whole attempt of providing relief futile in the future. The next issue is with regards to the implementation of safety features by the manufacturers of vehicles. So with this act, various safety tests and safety features have been incorporated by the central government so that the vehicle before it has been brought on the road fulfills all these safety measures and is safe to drive on the road. However, the government has failed to take into consideration that there are insufficient vehicle manufacturers in India and they do not have the proper mechanism or infrastructure in order to meet these safety features. So on one hand, you are providing safety features, but insufficient manufacturers has been completely overlooked at. The next issue is that huge fines can mean greater corruption in India. When already the fines were as minimum as 100 and 500 rupees, people still paid 20 to 50 rupees and got away with the offences that they have committed. But now where the fines have increased from 500 to 10,000 rupees, it has been easy for the public to bribe the police officials and get away with 100 rupees. This will in no way increase road safety, but this is just going to increase corruption, and this has been a major concern for all the states with regards to heavy fines. Corruption is not a new facet to road transportation and traffic violations. The central government was well aware of corrupt practices within the traffic police officials. However, instead of curbing such corruption, they focused on increasing the fines and fining the poor public of the nation. The appropriate resort should have been to eradicate corruption in traffic violations and then increase fines among traffic offenders. This would have incorporated the necessary implementation of the act, but now such hefty fines is only going to lead to larger corruption in India. The next problem is by insertion of subsection 5 in section 12 of the Motor Vehicles Act. So previously, a person, in order to acquire a driving license for transport vehicle, had to acquire a driving license of a light motor vehicle and it had to be in existence for 1 year at least. However, by this new amendment, such prerequisite has been removed from the Act. So any person who has received training from an accredited driving school cannot directly apply for a transport license. However, it is different to drive a light motor vehicle and it is completely different to drive a transport vehicle. A transport vehicle may also be large and heavy. Thus, instead of adding more safety measures, the government has reduced safety measures and has not paved into the way of road safety, but rather has created hindrance in achieving road safety. Furthermore, the government in the amendment of 2019 has renewed the period of renewal of licenses. So earlier, in cases of transport licenses, the period for renewal was 3 years. However, the Act has now made it 5 years. Furthermore, the licenses for driving hazardous carrying vehicles, for example, vehicles that carry inflammable or hazardous liquids, the renewal period was 1 year but has now been increased to 3 years. So the government has again reduced the safety features for vehicles driving mostly on the national highways. The other issue with the 2019 Amendment Act is that the legislature has not provided appropriate safety tests for these drivers. For example, the Act fails to provide safety measures such as fatigue tests. So these transport vehicles drive at a continuous stretch of 48 hours. However, it's not their fault completely. These drivers are under tremendous pressure from the owners to deliver a particular item in the shortest spans possible. So they do not get appropriate time to rest and they have to make the delivery within the prescribed time. So the government could have taken a step forward and created fatigue test check posts at various such posts as the highway and incorporated such tests in order to attain road safety. The next major problem is with respect to tourists. So when these tourists come to India, they have been faced with numerous difficulties in communicating with the transport vehicle owner or the driver, as well as they have been mishandled and ill-treated by these transport drivers. The government should have taken a step in order to incorporate such specific and specialized training for these transport tourist vehicles and drivers so that the tourists feel safe in our country and they're not mishandled by these drivers. Certain provisions or certain new laws should also be made whereas these tourist vehicles do not harass the public as well as the tourists who are visiting our country. The state government should have also provided for rest areas to these drivers, as truck drivers generally wait at dhabas and rest for a while. However, they need specific rest areas where they can sleep for long 6 to 7 hours so that they can be vigilant while driving on the highways. The next problem is that the Act is very lenient towards various dangerous traffic violations such as jumping a red light, drunken driving, driving on the wrong side, and rash driving. Generally, these people are just let go by a intimation or by a warning by the traffic officer. However, the major accidents and deaths that have been caused in India are due to these 4 offenses. So when a person jumps a red light or when a person is driving when he is drunk or under the influence of alcohol, when a person is driving from a wrong side, they should be punished in such a manner that they refrain from doing so in the future. Also, their licenses should be cancelled so that it acts as a deterrent for the different public and the different age groups of a nation. The next issue with the 2019 Amendment Act is that there are no safety measures provided for the passengers riding at the back of the car. So the Act provides numerous safety rules with regards to wearing helmets and seat belts to the driver and the person sitting next to the driver, that is the passenger. However, no rules and regulations have been made and no penalties have been imposed for a passenger sitting at the back of the car and has violated or is not wearing a seat belt. There should be rules and regulations as well as penalty to people sitting at the back of the seat, as their health and their life is also important and equally important with that as the driver.